Do not poke the bear. I repeat, do not poke the bear. This is the Airborne Podcast. I'm your host, Ajith, and that was a game of two halves, a tale of two halves. That first half looks similar to that atrocious game that we played in Miami, and those shooting woes all continued, and Brooklyn came out shooting the lights out, and they look like a team that was desperate for a W coming off. They were on a 4-game losing streak, and it extended to 5 with their loss tonight to the Toronto Raptors. But, man, I honestly thought that this was going to be another blowout that the Raptors were going to take because their shooting woes just kept continuing. But they turned it on in that second quarter, basically halfway through. It was 52-36, and the Brooklyn Nets were up 16. And then all of a sudden, Nick Nurse calls a timeout, and Toronto goes on a 12-0 run to end the half, and they're only down by 4. And then to come out in that third quarter and get an and one from Ibaka to basically have a 15-0 run from the end of that second quarter to the start of that third. It was pretty impressive, especially with the team that we have right now and the way we were shooting the ball in that first half. I was very surprised that they were able to blow out the Brooklyn Nets at home by the time the game was done. I'm going to break it down from the first quarter for you guys. In the first quarter, we were down 33-24, and we were shooting horrendous. When I say horrendous, we could not make a shot for our life. And we were shooting 36% from the field. We were 9 of 25, and they were shooting 61%, and they were 11 of 18 from the field. From three-point range, we only shot 12%, which is holy hell, absolutely disgusting. But we were shooting 1 of 8 from beyond the arc, and they were shooting 60% from beyond the arc in that first quarter, and they were shooting 6 of 10. They made 6 threes out of 10 attempts. Free throws, it just seemed like however the Raptors played in the first half is how the Brooklyn Nets came out and played in the second half. And we weren't making free throws. We were missing it. And I'm talking about people that never missed their free throws. Like Kyle Lowry missed 1. Fred Van Vliet missed 2. And we were shooting 62% from the free throw line, 5 of 8 from the line. And they were shooting 5 of 6 for 83% from the line. Rebounding, they had the edge in that first quarter. They out-rebounded us 13-9. Offensive rebounds, we out-rebounded them 4-3. Assists, yeah, they had 10 assists in that first quarter. We only had 5, and we had 2 steals to their 0. But turnovers, though, I think this might have been one of the best games of us taking care of the ball. And I know we've had a few games recently where we've only had about 10 turnovers, but we ended the game tonight on about 8 turnovers, I believe. Yeah, it was 8 turnovers. And Brooklyn had 8 turnovers alone in that first quarter. And I don't know what was going on with the referees, but there were a hell of a lot of technical fouls being called in every direction. Just from the Kyle Lowry technical that he got when he grabbed Jared Allen by the arm and kind of yanked him at the beginning of that third quarter, to Van Vliet getting a little, just for telling him that he got fouled, he got a technical for that. Then you had a bench, a coach on the bench for the Brooklyn Nets getting a technical, and then someone else got a technical on the Brooklyn side too. But I'm going to get you the exact stats on how many technicals there were tonight, but it seemed like every couple of minutes there was a technical being called. In that second quarter, though, I told you we made that run to end it off. We ended it off on a 12-0 run, and we cut the lead, and we were down 52-48. And we outscored them by 5, and we scored 24 points to their 19. And then, we were able to, we were able to ramp up the shots and start making a few to get us into rhythm. And we ended up ending off the half shooting 37%, 19 of 51 to their 19 of 34. and they shot 56% going into the half. 3-pointers, we were still shooting horrendous in that first half. It went up to 23% from 12%, but we were still shooting only 3 of 13 from beyond the arc. For the Brooklyn Nets, they were shooting 8 of 19 and 42% from beyond the arc. Free throws, still having an issue. We missed an extra one to go into halftime. 7 of 11, 64%, and they were shooting 6 of 8 for 75% from the line. Rebounding, they had the edge, 22-19 going into the half, but we had the offensive rebounding edge, 9-4. Assists, they had 15, we went up to 10, and then steals, we had 4, they had 2. Turnovers, though, I'm telling you, that first half, we had 4 in the first half and 4 in the second half, and they had 16 by halftime. And that's where we were able to kind of keep ourselves in this game, because they just turned it over possession after possession after possession, and we were able to take advantage. Once they were turning it over like that, especially in the second half, I believe they had 16 in the first, 8 in the second half, and we were just capitalizing. The only reason we even had half those, I believe, we only had 4 of those turnovers were in a span of a few minutes where Terrence Davis was just being clumsy. And I'm not going to blame him completely for that, because he's still a rookie. He needs to learn from his mistakes, and he's learning on the fly. But those were some crucial possessions because it was still a really close game. But yeah, that's where like roughly 4 out of the 8 turnovers came from. Third quarter, that's where we started making our shots. We came out guns blazing, and we outscored the Brooklyn Nets 35-28 in that quarter, leading them 83-80 to going into the fourth quarter. Our shooting kept going up as the quarters went through, and we shot 42% to end the third quarter, and they went to 51%. We were 32 of 77 to their 26 of 51. 3-point shooting, we shot about 5 threes. We made 5 threes in that third quarter, and we went up to 35%, and we shot 8 of 23 from beyond the arc, and they were shooting 12 of 29 going into the fourth quarter, which was about 41%. Free throws, still an issue. Chris Boucher missed some, Kyle Lowry missed some, and Van Vliet missed some, and we were shooting 61% going into the fourth quarter, 11 of 18, and they were shooting 80%, 16 of 20 from the line. Rebounding was very close going into the fourth quarter. It was 33 to 32. And offensive rebounding, we were killing them for some reason. I don't know how, because they had Jared Allen and DeAndre Jordan, but we were out-rebounding them on the offensive boards 14-5. Assists, they were beating us 18-15. And then steals, we were beating them 7-2. And this is all going into the fourth quarter. And then to end the game, you saw what Kyle Lowry did. Van Vliet took over in that third quarter, and Kyle Lowry took over in that fourth. And Lowry scored about, I think, like 20 points or 22 points after that technical he got in that little scruffle he got into with Jared Allen. But we outscored them in that fourth quarter 38-22, beating them 121-102 by the end of the ball game. And by the end of the night, we went up to 45% from the field, 44-97. And they were 32 of 67 for 48% from the field. And our three-point shooting, they were shooting lights out in the beginning. It felt like they were making every three. But by the end of the night, we had a better percentage from them, which is crazy to see. If you watch the game carefully from the first half to the second half, you'll understand why it's kind of crazy to see these numbers right now. And the Raptors from beyond the arc, they were 13 of 32 for 41%. And the Brooklyn Nets were 13 of 35 for 37%. Free throws, even though we're a really good free throw shooting team, we did not do our job in the beginning. We're usually an 80% team from the line, but tonight we only shot 71%, 20 of 28. But when it mattered most, we did make our free throws down the line. O'Shea Brissett made a few. Kyle Lowry was making them. Van Vliet was making them. And Ibaka was making them. And Brooklyn went down to 25 out of 34 from the line for 74%. And yeah, they were missing some crucial free throws in that fourth quarter, which is why they dug themselves in such a big hole, because Spencer Dinwiddie and Joe Harris, I believe, missed a few crucial ones there down the line. With rebounding though, by the end of the night, we actually beat them in rebounds, 43-38. I don't understand why they didn't bring back Karis LeVert, because he was cooking it. Him and Van Vliet in that third quarter were going back and forth, and I don't get why they didn't bring him. It might have been a minutes restriction, but he was coming back from a thumb injury, so I don't see why they would be so cautious with that. But hey, it helped us, so does it really matter? If you're a Raptors fan, doubt that. Yeah, so we out-rebounded them 43-38, and we still beat them on the offensive rebounds with beating them by 9, 15-6. Assists, we ended the night off with 21, and the Brooklyn Nets had 24, and then we had 10 steals to their 4. Turnovers, though, that was the difference in this game for the Raptors to be able to kind of stick around for a bit and pull it together in that fourth quarter to blow it out of the water. And although they killed us on blocks, they beat us 11-4, but turnovers, we only had, not even 8. We had 7 turnovers, and they had 24. And personal fouls, we had 25, they had 24. Technicals, I told you, there was a whole lot of technicals in that game. And at one point when that flagrant foul happened for Kyle Lowry, I thought he was going to get ejected, but thankfully he didn't. And we pulled it out. We're doing our best as a team, as a collective unit, to get these W's. And Brooklyn should have never bothered Kyle Lowry. Once you get that guy going and you get him mad, that's when he's at his best. Especially if he's shooting that bad, you should leave him alone. Look what Miami did. They did not poke the bear, and they got the W because Kyle Lowry didn't have a reason to go off. But Jared Allen looked at him, gave him a face, and he turned around and he's like, "Who are you, bro? Do I even know you? What are you going to do?" But it was a very entertaining second half, and I'm glad they were able to make their shots and honestly get the W, because I did not want to continue watching the game. Like when they were down 52-36 and it looked like Brooklyn was going to blow this thing open, I was ready to turn the TV off at least for a few minutes. But Nick Nurse always has that way to get the unit back together, get the team together, calls the timeouts at the right time, and the Raptors are a resilient group that don't give up. And we see that time in, time out, and we just got to go with this team. Hopefully they get healthy, but I got a report today saying that Pascal Siakam and Marc Gasol are the furthest ones away from coming back on the court, and that's kind of weird for me to see. I understand Marc Gasol because his hamstring thing was you could tell right off the get-go when it happened. It looked pretty bad, but Pascal, his groin injury, when the injury happened in the Detroit Pistons game, it didn't look that bad. I don't know if they're just being cautious or if it really was that bad of an injury. But Norman Powell and Matt Thomas apparently are supposed to be back soon, so that will help with our three-point shooting, so teams cannot play that type of zone on us all the time, because those two make their threes at a high clip, and they're zone killers. They both are. Norman Powell's kind of, it depends on his night. He's been playing He was playing consistently before the injury, but he's a streaky shooter. Matt Thomas, he's known for his three-point shooting, so when we get those guys back, definitely going to help. But if you haven't voted already, vote for Kyle Lowry, vote for Fred VanVleet for the All-Star game, because those mans put up numbers tonight. I'm going to get into their personal numbers, into the individual stats right now. VanVleet had a double-double, and Serge Ibaka had a double-double. And Kyle Lowry, he didn't have a double-double, but, man, that last three he made from, the parking lot, it shut down the whole crowd. He was pissing everybody off in that arena. He was going off. Even when Serge Ibaka got an and one at one point, and he was, screaming, "And one! And one!" Just walking around and screaming. But also, we had back-to-back plays, nice dunks, where Van Vliet gave Rondé Hollis-Jefferson a nice little bounce pass, and it went for a dunk, and O'Shea Brissett I think Van Vliet got the steal, and the Brissett grabbed it and went in for a dunk, and it put them up 100-88, and they were up 12. That was a serious, man, that game, the second half was just exciting. It was exciting. 24-point turnaround after Nick Nurse called that timeout. 24-point turnaround. They were up 16, and then we ended up being 8 at one point. And that's what the Raptors are about. But back to the stats. So I'm going to start with Serge Ibaka, another double-double. I think this is his fourth or fifth in a row. He had 21 points, 12 rebounds in 28 minutes, no assists, 8 of 15 from the field, 4 of 5 from the free throw line, and 1 of 1 from the three-point line with a block. Kyle Lowry, the Bear, do not poke the Bear. In 43 minutes, oh God, he played a lot of minutes. He had 26 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 of 19 from the field, 9 of 10 from the free throw line, and 5 of 12 from the three-point line with 2 steals and a block and a turnover. Van Vliet, 36 minutes, 29 points, 4 rebounds, and 11 assists, 11 of 19 from the field, 2 of 5 from the free throw line, which is uncharacteristic of him, but he'll get it together. And he did get it together by the end of the game. And he also had 5 threes, but he was 5 of 8 from beyond the arc with 1 block. He had a nasty block. I forgot on who, but it was nasty. Rondé against his former team in Brooklyn, 26 minutes. He had 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 of 13 from the field, no free throw attempts, and he had a 3-point attempt, but he did not make it with 4 steals. And Kyle Lowry was feeding him the ball at the end of the game just to get him some points, against his former team, and he was getting buckets for a bit there. Chris Boucher, 20 minutes, 7 points, 7 rebounds, no assists, 3 of 8 from the field, 1 of 4 from the free throw line, and 0 of 2 from the three-point line with the block. Terrence Davis, although he had a few turnovers there when the game was still close, I am not going to blame him for it because he's still a rookie, and he made a few shots there. I believe when at the end of the third quarter, or towards the end of the third quarter, he went on like a 5-0 run by himself, and we ended off that quarter on a 7-0 run to have that 3-point lead going into the fourth quarter. But in 16 minutes, he had 7 points and a rebound and assist, 3 of 5 from the field, and 1 of 2 from the three-point line, no free throw attempts with 2 steals, and he had 4 turnovers. O'Shea Brissett coming in, giving us some valuable energy minutes, hustling on the floor. He had 9 points, 6 rebounds. Not 9 points. In 9 minutes, he had 6 points, a rebound, no assists, and he was perfect from the field, perfect from the free throw line. 1 of 1 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line with a steal. Stanley Johnson played 8 minutes in valuable time, but did not score, only had 3 rebounds. And OG Anunoby, 29 minutes, had 7 points, 3 rebounds, and assist, 3 of 6 from the field, no free throw attempts, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. And that 3 he did hit was a big 3 when we were going on that 12-0 run to end the half. Patrick McCaw, 25 minutes, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 4-7 from the field, and he only had a steal, no free throw attempts, 1 attempt from the three-point line, but did not make it. And that's it for the Raptors. Now for the Brooklyn Nets, Joe Harris, 31 minutes, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 4-6 from the field, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 3 of 5 from the three-point line, 3 turnovers. Taurean Prince, 28 minutes, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 of 11 from the field, no free throw attempts, 2 of 8 from the three-point line with a block, 2 turnovers. Jared Allen, 25 minutes, 7 points, 5 rebounds, no assists, 3 of 4 from the field, 1 of 3 from the free throw line, and no three-point attempts with a steal and 2 blocks. Jared Temple, 30 minutes, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 of 11 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 of 8 from the three-point line with a steal and a turnover. Spencer Dinwiddie, he's been putting up all-star numbers throughout the year, and this was no different. In 31 minutes, he had 23 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 6 of 12 from the field, 9 of 12 from the free throw line, and 2 of 5 from the three-point line with the block, 4 turnovers. And he's been putting up like 26 points since Kyrie went down. Like, he's been playing like he's a starting point guard in this league, but he's definitely been playing like an all-star these past, like, I don't know how many weeks Kyrie's been out. But since he's been down, he's been playing like an all-star. DeAndre Jordan, 18 minutes, 6 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 of 5 from the field, no free throw attempts, no three-point attempts, 1 steal, 4 blocks, 5 turnovers. And Karis LeVert, 16 minutes, 13 points, just 1 assist, 5 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 of 2 from the three-point line with 3 turnovers. All in all, those are the main guys that really did something for the Brooklyn Nets. We all know that next season they're going to be a completely different team with Kevin Durant and Kyrie coming back, and they're going to be a beast in the East. And they're going to be in the mix with all the other good teams right now that are fighting for playoff seeding right now. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, like you always do, hit that like button, support your boy. And if you haven't subscribed already, do so, because we do this every day. I know I didn't do the Miami post-game podcast reaction because that game was so horrendous. There literally was nothing good to say about the Raptors, and I was very vexed, very pissed off, and I did not want to go off on them because that game was just so horrible to watch. I couldn't watch the whole game. I really couldn't. Like, I understand that the defense was really good in that game like it was tonight in the second half, but our shooting, though, all those open shots, you just wanted to grab them by their neck and be like, what the hell is going on? Or grab them by their jersey, whatever you want to call it. But that's why I didn't do that. But there is a chance I might do a reaction to the actual game if you guys want to see it. Let me know in the comment section. If not, I'll see you back here for the post-game podcast for our next game, which will be against, I believe, it's back at home for sure, because we just had like a mini 2-game road trip. So now that that's done and we went one-on-one in this trip, we are playing the Portland Trailblazers back here on Tuesday. And then we have a back-to-back. So we play Portland on Tuesday, and then we go travel to Charlotte for a game down there. And yeah, so till then, I'll see you back here. Stay blessed, stay woke, and don't poke the bear. Peace!